Europe is part of the problem. France is part of the problem. I feel terribly sorry for the victims, but France is part of the problem. Maybe this will give them a wake-up call and have them join the war against terrorism rather than becoming part of the problem of facilitating and rewarding terrorism. I stand by that statement.
I will advise you, just for the credibility of your own judgment on anything else you ever say publicly, don't ever say that France rewards every terrorist.
Sir, I don't need your advice on this issue, and please don't generalize from this to other issues.
We are out of time. I'm sorry you didn't apologize for that.
Of course not.
Thanks for joining us.
I stand by it.
All right, Alan Dershowitz and Lawrence O'Donnell. And Alan Dershowitz, Harvard Law professor, author, and Newsmax contributor, joins us. Hey, Alan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You know, that was an ambush. They had me on another subject, and then he was determined just to attack me. He didn't even give me an opportunity to respond. But the next night, he invited me back and allowed me to explain my position, which has been confirmed by recent events.
Well, your position referred to France and how they treat terrorists and what the result is, correct?
Right, yeah. France has had a long, long history of cozying up to terrorists, of facilitating them, of freeing them. As long as they don't attack France, it's been the most selfish and hypocritical foreign policy among many hypocritical and selfish European foreign policies. But the idea was that they would, do anything to prevent the importation of terrorism. They wanted to export terrorism. It was okay if terrorists hit other countries. And my point, and I've made it repeatedly since I wrote my book, Why Terrorism Works, is you can't pick and choose among terrorists. You have to be opposed to all terrorists. If you say it's okay in the Middle East, it's okay when they attack Israel, but it's not okay when they attack France, that doesn't work. And the events recently proved that. But France hasn't learned its lesson. According to Israeli news reports, the president of France urged Netanyahu not to come to this event because he didn't want it to be about Middle East terrorism. He wanted it to be only about French terrorism, as if French lives are worth more than lives of people in the Middle East. But, fortunately, you don't tell Bibi what to do.
And how do you feel about the rest of the report that said since Netanyahu said, I'm coming, he picked up the phone, the president did, and invited Abbas?
Well, it's the same kind of moral equivalence. Abbas was a terrorist. He was a full partner of Arafat, who was welcome to France, of course. And the idea of creating a moral equivalence between a democracy that fights against terrorism and a regime that started with terrorism. And remember, Hamas is part of the Palestinian government and still continues to engage in terrorism, sent a very, very bad message. It was like the signs that some people held up saying, we are Charlie, we are Jews, we are Palestinians. Palestinians weren't attacked in Paris, but they always have to throw in that moral equivalence.
All right, Alan, what about the fact that the president didn't show up, the first lady, the vice president, Kerry, nobody?
I think that was a blunder. I don't attribute much in terms of policy. Whether they were frightened because of security concerns, I don't know. But it was a mistake, and I think everybody in the White House probably realizes that, which is why they're sending John Kerry too little too late to try to make up for it. But it was a blunder. They should have at least sent the vice president or the first lady, somebody that represents the United States at this event. It wasn't a snub. A part of me wishes it had been a snub. Maybe France would have learned that lesson, but I don't think it was a snub.
When you heard the president's response to these latest attacks, and to me it lacked the passion that the remarks that he made after the rabbis were slaughtered by meat cleavers in Jerusalem in the synagogue lacked. No emotion, no specific reference to the fact that there was Jews that were killed and why they were killed. Just, terrorism, schmerism. To me, I don't think the man is moved by the death of Christians and Jews who were slaughtered by terrorists.
Well, I don't know about that, but I agree with you that when he responded to the rabbis saying we're opposed to violence, whether it's against Jews or Palestinians, that wasn't the time to say that. That was the time to condemn the murder of 4 rabbis at prayer. And the time has come also for President Obama to acknowledge that this is a problem of Islamic extremism. It's not just a problem of terrorism.
Right.
Even as Attorney General said, no, we're against all terrorism.
Yeah, he wouldn't name it.
The source of terrorism in the world today is Islamic extremism. You can worry about North Korea closing down a movie theater, but nobody worries that when you insult North Korea, they're going to start blowing up your cartoon magazine.
Right, Alan.
But
Great to talk to you, sir. We're out of time. Appreciate it. Alan Dershowitz, ladies
Thanks,
and gentlemen. We're coming back with Dan Gaynor from the Media Research Council. Don't go away.